So, hello everyone.
Hello everyone.
In this lecture, we will discuss two topics. Okay. So, our first topic is break-even analysis. Okay. So, it is slightly one of the easiest you can say. Okay. Easiest topic from the examination point of view. Okay. So, we will try to understand it. Okay. With the help of some questions. Okay. So, I have taken some of the previous year questions. Okay, so this is the question number one. Okay, this is the question number one. So basically, break even analysis. Okay, it means that we are dealing with no profit, no profit or no loss condition. Okay, break even analysis means no profit or no loss condition. Okay, so first we will read the question. Okay, and with the help of question only, we will try to understand it. So it says that a company manufactures pocket transistors. Okay, a company manufactures transistors, and the details of its monthly expenditure are as follows. Okay, so they have given the direct material cost rupees 10,000, direct labor cost, and direct labor cost is given 200 hours at the rate of 5 per hour and 125 hours at the rate of 4 per hour. Okay, so labor is working on the basis of per hour. Okay, he's charging on the basis of per hour. Okay, next they have given that applied overhead, also known as factory overheads, it is equals to 10% of the prime cost. Okay, so we will understand what is this prime cost now. They have given the other overheads equals to 10% of the works cost, or it is also known as factory cost. Okay, now the profit is 20% of the total cost. Number of units manufactured per month is 200, so they are saying that estimate the selling price per unit. So in this chapter there are some different types of cost. Okay, so the first cost is known as direct cost. Okay, the other name of this direct cost is also prime cost. Okay, this is direct cost or prime cost. Okay, so the direct cost is associated with the cost of the direct labors. Okay, direct labors means the labors who are directly involved in production. Okay, direct labors plus it can be direct material cost also. Okay, it can be direct labor cost or it can be direct material cost. So they have given that direct material and direct labor cost, so we can find that the direct cost is equals to rupees 10,000. Okay, 10,000 is the direct material cost plus direct labor cost. We can find rupees 5 per hour for 200 hours, so it will be 5 into 200 plus 125 hours at the rate of rupees 4 per hour, so it is going to be 4 into 125. So you can find the total. The total you will get rupees 11500. Okay, rupees 11500, that is 11,500. So the direct cost we have got. Okay, direct cost is also known as prime cost. Okay, now the second cost. Okay, the second type of cost in this chapter is, first one is direct cost or prime cost, and the second cost is factory overheads. Factory overheads. Okay, so the factory overheads, also known as applied overheads, here they have written applied overheads or factory overhead. So the factory overheads, it will include the indirect labor cost. Okay, indirect labor cost plus indirect material cost plus indirect expenses. Okay, so the factory overheads can be these three types. Okay, indirect labor means indirect labors can be the supervisors, watchmen. Okay, this indirect labor. Okay, what is this? They are not directly involved in the production of the product. Okay, like watchman. Okay, the cost of the watchman or salary of the watchman. It can be the supervisors. They are not the workers on the machine. Okay, now what is this indirect material cost? What is this indirect material cost? So this indirect material cost can be the cost of the materials, cost of the materials like cutting fluid. Okay, they are not direct material. Cutting fluid, it can be anything, it can be coolant, cost of coolant. Okay, so these are the indirect material. And what is this indirect expenses? Indirect expenses can be telephone bills. Okay, these are not involved in the production of the product directly, but these are also expenses. So telephone expenses. Okay, so these are the factory overheads, and they have said that the factory overheads, they are saying that the factory overhead is 10% of the prime cost. Look, the prime cost is also the direct cost. So we can find the factory overheads as factory overheads as 10% of the prime cost, and the prime cost is 11,500 rupees. So we are going to get how much? We are going to get rupees 1150. Okay, this much of rupees. Okay, this much of rupees. It will be the factory overhead. Factory overhead. Okay. Now the third cost. The third cost is the factory cost. Okay, the third cost is factory cost, or it is also known as production cost. Just remember the names. Okay, because you will get confused. Production cost, or it is also known as works cost. Okay, work cost or works cost. So these are basically the addition of direct cost plus factory overheads. Okay, these are direct cost plus factory overheads. Okay, it means it is the cost which is involved in the production of machine within the boundary of the factory. Okay, nothing is, no any cost is included which are present outside the boundary of the factory. So each and every type of cost which is coming inside the boundary. Okay, like we are not including the transportation cost, you can see, because the transportation cost is present outside the boundary of the factory. So the factory cost is only direct cost plus factory overhead. So the direct cost we have got rupees 11,500. Factory overheads we have got rupees 1150. So the total cost we will get rupees at 12,650. Okay, 12,650. So this is going to be the factory cost or work cost or production cost. So you can see they are saying that. Okay, now this is the third type of cost. Okay, factory cost. Now the fourth cost, total cost. Okay, the fourth one will be our total cost. The fourth one will be our total cost. So what is the total cost? You can see they are saying that other overheads. Okay, other overheads is 10% of the factory cost. Okay, other overheads is 10% of the factory cost. So what are the other overheads? Overheads can be the transportation cost, communication cost, marketing cost. Okay, so these are the other overhead. So the total cost is basically the summation of the total cost is basically the summation of It is the summation of direct cost plus factory overhead plus other overhead. Okay, so it is basically the summation of, you can say, factory cost, factory cost plus other overheads. So what are these other overheads? Okay, ये ऐसे कॉस्ट है ना जो फैक्ट्री के बाउंड्री के बाहर है ना. These are not the factory overhead, these are the other overheads. So it can be marketing. Okay, it can be marketing, it can be transportation cost. Okay, so these are the other overheads, and they are saying that in this question, the other overheads is basically the 10% of the factory cost. So the factory cost we have found 12,650. So the other overheads is basically the 10% of this much. So this will be 10% of 12,650. Okay, 10% of 12,650. So it is going to be 1265. Okay, 1,265 rupees. So these are the other overhead. So from here we can find the total cost. Okay, we can find the total cost. So the total cost is basically the summation of the factory cost, that is 12,650, plus the other overhead. So other overhead we have got 1265. So the total we will get as rupees rupees 13915. Okay, rupees 13915. So we have got the total cost. Okay, we have got the total cost. Now look at the question. They are saying that the profit is 20% of the total cost. Okay, profit is 20% of the total cost. So we will find the profit. Profit is 20% of the total cost. So the total cost is 13915. Okay, so it is going to be 2783. Okay, 2783. So this is the profit. Okay, ये आपको क्या मिलेगा? Profit. This is the profit. Now you have got the profit, and what they are asking, look, they are asking the number of, they are asking the selling price per unit, and total number of units manufactured is 200. Okay, so since you are getting the profit, so we can also find the selling price. Okay, we can find the total selling price. So we can find the selling price for 200 units. Okay, we can find the total selling price, or you can simply write selling price of the 200 units. So it is going to be the total cost. Okay, it is going to be the total cost, or you can say this is the cost price. Okay, this is the price which is used in the production of the transistors. So, and this is going to be plus the profit. This is the profit. So this is the selling price, total cost plus profit. So selling price will be rupees 16698. You can take the summation. So this is the total selling price, and they are asking the selling price per unit. So the selling price per unit is equal to the total selling price divided by number of units. How many units? 200. Okay, so it is going to be 83.49 rupees. Okay, so this is the final answer. Okay, so the question is very simple. The question is very simple. Only you have to take care of the different cost which is involved in this type of. ध्रुव शुक्ला, what to repeat? क्या रिपीट करना है? क्या रिपीट करना है? देखो, in this case the different cost. Okay, the first cost is direct cost. Okay, it is also known as prime cost. So the direct cost is the cost of direct labors plus direct material. Okay, these are the cost which is directly involved in the production of the equipment. Okay, or any product, that is transistors. So these are the costs which are directly involved in the production of the transistors. So they have given the direct material cost they have given and direct labor cost they have given. Okay. So we will calculate the direct cost. Now the second type of cost is factory overhead. So the factory overhead is basically the summation of indirect labors, indirect material and indirect expenses. So indirect labors can be watchman, supervisor. Indirect material can be cutting fluid or coolant, and indirect expenses can be telephone expenses or anything. Okay, so these are the cost which is not present outside the boundary of the factory. So these are the factory overheads. So they are saying that applied overhead is or factory overhead is 10% of the prime cost. So the prime cost we have got. So 10% of the prime cost we can find the factory overhead. Now, the factory cost is the summation of direct cost plus the factory overhead. Factory cost means the cost which is present within the boundary of the factory. It is also known as production cost or factory cost or work cost. So it is the summation of both. Okay. Now we can find the total cost. Total cost is the summation of factory cost, the cost which is present inside the boundary of the factory, and the cost which is present outside the boundary of the factory. That is other overhead. It can be marketing, it can be transportation. So just take the summation. And other overheads, read the question. Other overhead, they are saying that 10% of the prime cost. So prime cost is 11,500. So 10% of the prime cost, 10% of the prime cost, 10% of the factory cost, 10% of the factory cost. So factory cost is 12,650. So 10% is 1265. Okay. So just find the total cost. Total cost once you have find, you will get the profit. Profit they are saying that 20% of the total cost. Then the selling price will be the summation of total cost plus profit. So you can find the price of 1 unit. Okay. So very simple question. Just remember the different type of cost in this chapter. Okay. This was very basic and very good question also. Okay. Slightly lengthy. Now we will take the second question. Okay. Just read the question. Now we will take the second question. So the second question is saying that a company is specialized in manufacturing of a small capacity motors. Okay, so they are producing basically motors, and they are saying the structure cost of a motor is given below. Okay, so the structure cost of the motor is given below. So first they are saying that material cost is rupees 50, the labor cost is rupees 80, and the variable overhead is 70% of the labor cost. Okay, so these three costs they have given. Okay, and they are saying that fixed overhead of the company is 2,40,000. Okay, the fixed cost, okay, the fixed cost or fixed overhead they have given 2,40,000. Sale price of each motor is rupees 230. Okay, they are giving the selling price of each motor rupees 230. So what they are asking, they are asking that determine the break even point. Okay, determine the break even point. So in this chapter, the break even point is represented with X BEP. Okay, X is the number of units produced. X is the number of units produced, and BEP means break even point. So we have to find X BEP. Okay, so the formula is very simple. Okay, just look here. We can write what we can write. We can write profit equals to profit equals to selling price minus we can write here what total cost. Okay, total cost in the last question we have seen, so profit will be selling price minus total cost. So the profit P equals to SP or capital S minus total cost will be the summation of fixed cost plus variable cost per unit into total number of unit. Okay, so this is going to be the profit. So at BP, we know that the break even condition at break even point, the profit is zero, neither profit, no loss. Okay, so from here we can find XBP. Since we are talking about BP, so XBP will be F upon small s minus small v. Okay, So this is the formula you have to remember. Okay, this is the formula you have to remember. So what is this, a small s? Small s is basically selling price. It is selling price per unit. Small s is selling price per unit. What is this f? F is the fixed cost. X is the f is the fixed cost, and what is this small v? It is the variable cost per unit. Okay, it is the variable cost per unit. Okay, so the fixed cost does not depend on the number of units produced. Okay, this type of cost, fixed cost, does not depend on the number of unit produced. Okay, this does not depend on the number of unit produced. Okay, but this variable cost is directly proportional to the number of units produced. Okay, so just we have to use this formula. So in this question you can see they have given the fixed cost, okay, fixed overhead of the company they have given. Okay, they have given the selling price of each motor. It means this is small s. Okay, this is small s. Only we have to find this small v. Okay, so this small v also we can find. This a small v also we can find. What we will do? Small v, you can see what is this small v? It is the summation of material cost plus labor cost plus they are saying that 75% of the labor cost. So it is going to be total variable cost is 75% of the labor cost, and the labor cost is 80. Okay, the labor cost is 80. So small v we can find from here, that is rupees 190 per unit. Okay, so you will ask that, sir, why you have included the material cost and labor cost as variable cost? Variable cost. Why? Because the fixed cost. Okay, look here. The fixed cost they have directly given. The fixed cost they have directly given. The small s or selling price they have directly given. So we are remaining with small v. So this material cost is cost of one material. Okay, rupees 50 the cost of one material. Rupees 80 the labor is taking rupees 80 for producing one material. So these all are the variable costs. So from this formula, so xbp a part. Okay, xbp will be f is 2 lakh 40,000 upon small s is 230 and the small v is 190. Okay, so from here you can find break even point. So break even point is going to be 6,000 units. So break even point is going to be 6,000 units. Okay, so this is the answer of part A. Okay, very simple. Okay, very simple question. Directly you have to use the formula only. You have to find the variable cost. Now the second part. Okay, the second part they are saying that calculate the number of motors to be sold to make a profit of rupees 1 lakh. Okay, so this is not the break even point. Okay, because they are saying that they want a profit. Okay, they want a profit of rupees 1 lakh. Okay, they want a profit of rupees 1 lakh. So what number of motors to be produced? So they are simply asking about x. Okay, they are simply asking about x. They are not talking about bp because they are asking about profit. So in this formula you can use this formula directly. Okay, you can use this formula directly. Okay, so for part b, the number of units produced p plus f upon small s minus a small v. Okay, this is the formula. Okay, now from this formula, if you are going to calculate x at bp, then profit will be 0. So you will reach here. Okay, you will be reaching here. So this is going to be profit. They are going to make rupees 1 lakh plus the fixed cost is 2,40,000. Okay, divided by small s they have given 230 per unit and small b they have given 190 per unit. So from here the number of motors they should produce, it is going to be 8,500 units. Okay, 8,500 units. So for b part this is the answer. Okay, the formula is very simple because Now they want profit, so profit will be here, okay, from this formula, okay, from the basic, this from this formula directly, okay. In the first case this profit was zero because we were talking at break even point. Now since they want to make the profit, so this profit is rupees 1 lakh, this profit is rupees 1 lakh. So after solving it you will reach at this formula, okay. So just keep this formula in mind, and whenever breakpoint, so make this p as 0, okay, make this p as 0, but in this case the p is rupees 1 lakh. Now the third part, they are saying that in case the sale price of each motor is reduced by rupees 15, okay, the sale price of each motor is reduced by rupees 15, it means that early it was rupees 230 per unit, and now it is going to decrease by rupees 15. So what will be the small s will be going to be 230 minus 15, so it will be rupees 215, okay. The selling price now for C case, okay, for C part the selling price will be rupees 215 because it is going to be reduced by rupees 15, okay. So they are asking that determine the number of motors to be sold to obtain the break even point, okay. Again they want the break even point. So the third part, they again want the break even, okay. So again x bp. Now look at this formula break even, it means the profit should be zero, so the formula is going to be f upon s minus v, okay. The formula is going to be f upon s minus v. Now just put the values. The fixed cost remains the same, that is 2 lakh 40,000. Small s, now the small s is not 230, okay, it is decreased by rupees 15 minus v is not changing, it is 190. So just put this formula and calculate the result, you will get 9600 units, okay. You will get 9600 units, okay. So this is the answer at bp for the third case. Now you can see from the formula, okay, you can just observe the formula. One thing, this is one mark objective question also. Look here, we are reducing the s, okay, we are reducing the selling price per unit, okay, we are reducing the selling price per unit here, okay. So if you are reducing the selling price per unit, this whole quantity, okay, this whole quantity is going to reduce, okay, this whole quantity is going to reduce. So this break even production must increase, okay, this break even production must increase. So you can see in the first case at bp, when the selling price was 230, okay, the break even was only 6000 units. And now since the selling price per unit decreased, so the number of units at break even point increase, okay. You have to produce more and more, okay, you have to produce more to obtain the break even production rate, okay, to obtain the break even production rate. So the answer is 9600, okay. You can see from the graph also, the graph, in the graph, since this s is reducing, the slope will also reduce, okay. Since this s is reducing, the slope is also reducing, so you can observe these things from the graph also, okay. It simply means the slope of total sales is decreasing, okay. It simply means that the slope of the total sales is decreasing, okay. So the answer is 9600 units, okay. So very simple, directly based on the formula. This question was directly based on the formula, very simple question, okay. Now we will take our next question. So you can see the third question, okay. It is also a good example, okay. So first we will read the question carefully, okay. So the question says that a firm manufactures a product whose selling price is rupees 10 per unit, okay. So they are saying that the selling price is rupees 10 per unit, it means they are talking about small s, okay. The small s is rupees 10 per unit. Okay, small s is rupees 10 per unit. Now they are saying that it has a capacity of 10,000 units. Okay, it means the total production they can produce it is rupees is sorry is total production they can produce is 10,000 units. So total x. Okay, they are talking about total x. Okay, total plant capacity they are talking about. They can produce 10,000 units. Okay, you can say this is the plant capacity. This is the plant capacity. So just keep it aside. Okay, we'll talk about it later. Now they are saying that the variable cost are rupees 2.5 per unit. Variable cost per unit, it means they are talking about a small v. So small v is rupees 2.50 per unit. Okay, small v they have given. Now the fixed costs are estimated at rupees 30,000 up to 50% capacity utilization, rupees 36,000 above 50% level, and rupees 42,000 if the utilization is 80% or above. Okay, so this is a slightly new thing. Okay, you just have to read the question carefully. So what they are saying, they are just given a table. Okay, slightly that they are saying that the fixed cost is rupees 30,000. Okay, they are saying that the fixed cost is rupees 30,000 in the first case. They are saying that the fixed cost also can be, it can also be 36,000. Okay, it can also be 36,000. And they are saying that the fixed cost can also be rupees 42,000. Okay, it can also be rupees 42,000. So what does it mean? Okay, what does it mean? Look here, up to 50% capacity utilization. So the total plant capacity, okay, this is the total plant capacity, total they can produce 10,000 units. So they are saying that if if 50% capacity, up to 50% capacity, it means the value of x is less than equals to value of x is less than 5,000. Okay, 50% of this much. Okay, 50% of total, it means if the plant is producing x to be less than or equals to 5,000, so the fixed cost will be 30,000. The second part they are saying that if it is greater than 5,000, that is 50%. Okay, 50%, and less than 80%. Okay, 80%, that is 80% of 10,000, so you will get 8,000. So the fixed cost will be 36,000. And the third case they are saying that 42,000 if 80% or above. So x is greater equals to 8,000. Okay, so the fixed cost will be rupees 42,000. So these three data they have given about the fixed cost. Okay, these three data they have given about the fixed cost. So you have to use this data, and this data had been written from directly from the question only. Okay, so now they are asking that what will be the operating profit? What will be the operating profit of the firm at 70%, 80%, and 90% utilization? Okay, so they are saying that if they are going to produce 70% of the total capacity, so what is going to the profit? If they are going to produce 80% of the total capacity, so what is the profit? In the third part, they are saying that if they are going to utilize 90% of the total capacity, then what is the profit? Okay, so we will take it one by one. Okay, so the first part a, and the first part 70%. Okay, 70% of the total utilization, it means the number of units they are going to produce it 70% of the total. Okay, this is the total capacity. So 70% of the total, it will be 7,000 units. Okay, 7,000 unit. So what is going to be the profit? Okay, the profit formula, you know, the formula was x equals to p plus f upon small s minus a small v. The formula remains the same. Okay, very simple formula. Okay, so you have to find the profit. So profit will be, from this formula you can write the profit will be s minus v into x minus fixed cost. Okay, so directly we have to use this formula. Okay, so just put the value for the first case. So the profit will be, the profit at 70% of the utilization is going to be the selling price. The selling price is rupees 10 per unit minus the variable cost is rupees 2.5 per unit. 70% of the total, it means how many units you are going to produce? 7,000 units minus the fixed cost they have given. Now this table will come into the picture. Okay, 77,000 units. You can see that 7,000 units will fall in this category. Second one. Okay, 7,000 between 5,000 and 8,000. So the fixed cost you will take is 36,000. Okay, so from here the profit will be rupees 16,500. The profit is going to be rupees 16,500. Now the second part in this only. Okay, the A and second part. They are saying that if they are utilizing 80%, okay, 80% of the total production. So the X will be 8,000 units. Okay, 80% of 10,000, it means we will get 8,000 units. So what is the profit? The profit is going to be the same formula. Okay, this formula you can use. So what is the S? S is 10 minus small v, that is variable cost per unit, is rupees 2.5 into 8,000 minus fixed cost. So what is the fixed cost? You can see when it is equals to or greater than 8,000, then the fixed cost is 42,000. Then the fixed cost is 42,000. So what is the answer? The answer you will get in this case 18,000 rupees. You can see the profit has increased. Okay, the profit has been increased because the fixed cost is increasing and it is minus. Now the third part, for 90% utilization. Okay, for 90% utilization, so the X is going to be how many units? 90% of 10,000. So it is going to be 9,000 units. So this P will be 10 minus 2.5, a small s minus a small v into this x. X is now 9,000 minus, you can see again, since this 9,000 is falling in the category of x greater equals to 8,000. So again the fixed cost is going to be remain 42,000 only. Thank you, Venki. Okay, Venki. So this is going to be rupees 25,500. Okay, so the answer for the 90% part is 25,500. Okay, so this is the first part. Now the second part is important. Okay, the second question is important, or it is a slightly good question. Okay, now they are saying that what is the lowest level of activity? Okay, what is the lowest level of activity at which the firm can make a profit of rupees 18,000? Okay, so they are saying that how much minimum they should produce. Okay, how much minimum they should produce so that they can make a profit of rupees 18,000. Okay, so many of the student, okay, many of the student will think that it is going to be the first case. Okay, it is going to be the first case that, okay, for B part. Okay, so for B part, they are saying that what minimum they should produce to make a profit of rupees 18,000. So you will directly use the formula, that is x equals to p plus f upon s minus v. So this they are asking about minimum. Okay, how much minimum, so that the profit they have given. Okay, the profit they have given 18,000. Okay, so you know the value of a small s, you know the small value of a small v. Only you have to put the value of f. Okay, so since you have to reduce this value of x, okay, since you have to make it minimum, okay, they are asking that how much minimum they must produce to make a profit of 18,000. So since it must be decreased, so many of the student will think that this f value should be also less, and you are right. Okay, this f value should be less, so that we can reduce the value of x here. Okay, mathematically you can think like this. So the minimum value of f you will try to put. So what is the minimum value of f? The minimum value of f is rupees 30,000. You can see the minimum value of f is rupees 30,000. So you will directly put it and you will find the answer. So just look here. Okay. So we are taking the first case. We are taking the first case when the fixed price is rupees 30,000 rupees. Okay. When the fixed price is rupees 30,000 rupees. So what you will get, x equals to p, profit they are going to make 18,000 plus fixed cost. Okay. So fixed cost 30,000 plus upon what is the small s, 10, and this is 2.5. So the answer you will get, okay, answer you will get from here, just calculate it. Okay, just calculate it with the help of your calculators. You will get 64,000 units. Okay, so the many of the students are directly going to put this answer in the examination, and it is a wrong answer. Okay, it is a wrong answer, because we will say that the x minimum is 64,000, because this f should be minimum, then only the x value is going to be minimum. But just look here, the fixed cost is 30,000 when the x value is less than or equal to 5,000. Okay, the condition is made. Okay, the condition has been already made that if the value of x is less than or equal to 5,000, then only the fixed cost is going to be rupees 30,000. And look here, you are getting x 6400, that is more than 5,000. So this is not possible, you cannot produce it. Okay, okay, this is not possible because this is more than 5,000. So this fixed cost we won't get. So we will take the second part, when fixed cost is rupees 36,000. So in this case you will get the answer. Okay, x equals to, it is p plus f upon s minus v. So you will get here 7,200 units. Okay, 7,200 units. Okay, so this is the second case. And look here, in the given condition, when x value is between 5,000 and 8,000, so the fixed cost is 36,000. So you are getting it between 5,000 and 8,000. So this is correct. Now check for the third condition also. Okay, but this is the answer because this fixed cost is minimum and it is in the range. So this is the answer. But we have to check for the third case also. It is not working. Okay, so just I'm doing it here. Okay, so for third case, okay, for third case, just check here. For third case, f is rupees how much, 42,000. So we will get x. Okay, we will get x for the third case, that is 8,000 units. But we have to find the minimum. Okay, this is 8,000 and it is also in the range. So this is the minimum. So this is the answer. Okay, this is the minimum. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay, so You have to produce 7200 units if you want a profit of 18,000. Okay, if you want a profit of 18,000, so you must produce 7200 units. It is minimum, but it is not in the range, so it is not possible. Okay, it is not in the range, so it is not possible. So just directly do not put the answers. Okay, directly do not put the answer, just compare from the table. Okay, this table. You just compare with the help of this table. Just compare with the help of this table. Okay. Now we will take our fourth question. Okay. This question is from work study. This question is from work study. So question is very simple. Now we are moving into our next topic, that is work study. It is not working. The pen is not working. So first we will read the question. It says that an operator rated at 120% took 10 minutes to complete observed job. Okay. So now we are in topic work study. So it is saying that an operator rated at 120% took 10 minutes to complete observed job. If a total 10% allowance are required for the job, what is the expected number of jobs produced in a shift of 8-hour duration? Okay. So mainly three types of cost are there in this chapter. Okay. Mainly three types of cost are there in this chapter. So the first cost, okay. So the first cost is going to be the observed cost, observed time. Okay, observed time. In short, it is OT. Okay, the second one is normal time. Normal time, it is NT. Okay, and the third one is standard time. Standard time, it is ST. Okay, so we are in the chapter work study. Okay, we are in the chapter of work study. So in this chapter, basically, it is classified into two types. The first one is method study. Okay, the first one is method study, and the second classification is time study. Okay, time study. So we are calculating the time. Okay, so we are calculating the time. So we are under time study. So in the time study, we have got these three types of time classification. Okay, so basically the observed time, it is the time observed. Okay, from the name only it is clear. It is the observed time by the observer with the help of some stopwatch devices. Okay, with the help of some stopwatch device. So it is basically time observed. Time observed by the observer. Okay, with the help of time measuring device. Okay, with the help of time measuring device like stopwatch. Now the second one is normal time NT. So it is the time required to complete a job by a normal worker under normal working conditions. So NT is going to be the product of OT, that is observed time into rating factor. Into rating factor. Okay, so each and every operator has a performance rating or rating factor. So this NT is going to be the observed time into rating factor. Okay, so from this you can see that rated at 120%. So this is the rating factor, and took 10 minutes to complete observed job. So observed time is given 10 minutes, and rating factor they have given 120%. So from here you can find the normal time. So normal time is basically observed time, that is 10 minutes into rating factor. It is just like efficiency. Okay, it is just like efficiency. So from here you can find the normal time to be 12 minutes. Okay, so the normal time is the time taken by a normal worker under normal working condition. Okay, so this rating factor, 1 point for the rating factor, you can write that rating factor is only applied for manual operations. Only applied for manual operations. Okay, so rating factor or performance rating is only given to those workers who are working manually. Okay, for machine there is no rating factor. Okay, for machine there is no rating factor. So you can say that for machines, okay, for machines the normal time is equal to the observed time. Okay, there is nothing like rating factor for the machines. So for machines the normal time is equal to the observed time, but for the manual operation we have to take the rating factor or performance rating, and it is just like the efficiency. Okay, so you have got the normal time, that is 12 minutes. Now we will find the standard time. Okay, so a standard time is basically the time required to complete the job by taking all the uncertainty related to the production system into account. So a standard time is basically the normal time plus some allowance. Okay, some allowance is provided to the worker so that they can work continuously for the longer duration. So you have to take care of the allowance. So this formula is very much important. So directly they will ask for the calculation of a standard time, and many times this question has been asked in the examination. So you have to just take care of the allowance. So in this question you can see they have given the allowance to be 10%. Okay, 10% allowance are required for the job. So you can find the standard time from here. So from here you can find the standard time. So just normal time plus allowance will be the standard time. So allowance is the extra time provided to the worker above the normal time so that they can work continuously for longer duration. Okay, so this is the allowance. So the allowance is provided to the worker. So the standard time is going to be the normal time. You have got 12 minutes, and the allowance they are given 10%. So the 10% they have directly written 10%. So it means that it is 10% of the normal time. Okay, it is always 10% of the normal time. If nothing has been said, so always you have to take allowance above the normal time. So this allowance is 10% of the normal time. So the allowance will be 10% of the normal time. Normal time is 12 minutes. So we will get 1.2. Okay, the total allowance will be 1.2. So put here normal time. Okay, put here normal time, and this is the allowance. So we will get the standard time as 13.2 minutes. Okay, we will get the standard time as 13.2 minutes. Now this 13.2 minutes is the standard time, and it is the time required to make a single product. Okay, this a standard time, that is 13.2 minutes. It is the time required to make a single product. Okay, so they're asking that what is the expected number of jobs produced in a shift of 8-hour duration. Okay, so how much products they are going to make in a shift of 8-hour duration. So what we have to do, the standard time is 13.2 minutes and the total duration is 8 hour. 8 hour means 8 into 60, that is 480 minutes. So the number of jobs you can find 480 divided by 13.2. So you will approximately get 13.36 unit. Okay. Okay, the pen is not working. There's some technical issue has came, but you can calculate this. Okay, you can calculate this, and it was one of the last question. Okay, so in the work study, three types of time are there: observed time, normal time, and standard time. Observed time is the observed by the observer with the help of stopwatch device. And normal time is the time taken by a normal worker. Okay, so normal time is observed time into rating factor, or rating factor is also known as performance rating. It is just like efficiency. Okay, this rating factor is only applied for manual operations. It is never applied for machine element. Okay, so for machine element, normal time will be equal to the observed time only. Okay, so for machine element, normal time is going to be equal to observed time only. For machine element, the normal time is going to be the observed time only. Now we have got the standard time. Okay, the standard time is the time required to complete the job, taking all the uncertainty into account. Okay, so the standard time is normal time plus some allowance. So this allowance is provided like rest allowance. It can be personal allowance for drinking water, going to toilet. These are all types of allowance. So these allowance are provided so that the worker can work for longer duration. Okay, so it is basically uncertainty. Okay, so this standard time is basically normal time plus allowance. So you can calculate the normal time. We have got 12 minutes plus allowance is 10%. So it is always 10% of the normal time. So normal time is 12, so we will get it at 13.2 minutes. Okay, so this is the standard time. So the total units, they are saying that total number of jobs. Okay, so the total they are working for 480 minutes divided by the time taken to produce a single unit is 13.2 minutes. So it is approximately going to be 36.6, or you can say 36 units or 36 jobs they will produce. Okay, 36 units or 36 jobs they will produce. Okay, now a last question. It says that in a work study experiment, it is observed that a worker complete a job in the average time of 15 minutes. Okay, a worker complete the job with a performance rating of 120%. The time required for another worker having a performance rating of 80% to complete the same job. Okay, so they have to complete the same job. So you can say that the total normal time will be the equals to the it will be the equal to the product of observed time, that is OT, into the performance rating or rating factor. So this normal time is the time taken to complete the job by a normal worker. So by both the worker, this normal time is going to remain the same because it is the job completion time. Okay, it is the basically job completion time. So this normal time is going to remain same for both the workers, you can say. So you can directly write, since this normal time remains constant, so this OT for worker 1 into rating factor of worker 1 equals to observed time of worker 2 into rating factor of worker 2. Okay, you can directly write it. So they are saying that for the first worker it is 15 minutes. The rating factor is 120%. For the second worker they have given the performance rating. Okay, you can see for the second worker they have given the performance rating and they are asking for the observed time. Okay, they are asking for the observed time. So from here you can calculate that OT for worker 2, it is going to be 22.5 minutes. Okay, 22.5 minutes. So this is the answer, and this is a gate. Okay, I think gate 2019. Okay, one marks question for production branch PI. Okay, production and industrial engineering. So you can directly calculate because this normal time is going to remain, because this is the work completion time or job completion time. So this is going to remain the same. So just use this technique and you can find the observed time by the second worker. It is going to be 22.5 minutes. Okay. So this chapter is very simple, standard time. Okay. So I have taken the easy numericals because easy question are going to be asked in this chapter. You can see GATE previous year 19. Okay, very recent problem. Okay, so just revise the chapters. Now we'll meet on the next week. Okay, thank you. Okay, so just thank you.